Morning all. Early start. Everybody up. Everybody awake. Good stuff. Who's turned up? Who's not turned up? Who's on roll call? Flick back to the beginning. Who we got? Morning Gerald. Morning Duncan. David.
Go, get the treasure.
Morning Barry.
I want that treasure.
Morning I love Woodturning. Morning Colin. Morning Mark. Morning Chris. Catching up. Morning Chris. I think I'm back there. Morning Barry. Morning Peter. Morning Malcolm. Morning Rob. Morning Paul. Morning Fred. Morning everybody. Morning everybody I've missed. Morning Barry. Morning. Anybody I've missed, good morning. Another Saturday morning breaks. At least sun's out. Ain't got to put my winter wear on this morning. It's pretty good out there. Sun's shining, bit of cloud. Could warm up a little bit. Mrs. Oliver have ideas of gardening. Don't think that's going to happen somehow. Morning Bob. Oh, evening Bob. I always say morning Bob. Should say evening Bob. Evening Bob. Yeah. So, could that be the end of winter as we know it? Oh, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Morning Michael. Morning Wayne. Morning Mark. Morning Barry. Morning everybody. Morning. Saturday roll call. We'll hold a register, shouldn't we? Saturday morning. I'll get Joe to put a register together. He's a teacher, and we can tick off anybody that's late. Anybody that don't turn up for school. I was quite good at going to school. Used to bunk off and go fishing. Only now and again. I like school really. Not. Morning Leona. This is my Mike Walt impression. So if I do this, I ain't got any glasses. I've got to find some glasses. But if I do this and do this, who does it remind you of? Mike Walt. Oh, morning Ellen Bailey, good morning. I vacuumed this morning, it's nice and tidy. Yeah, Mike Walt impression. So, I just got fed up with shaving, so I thought I won't shave for a while. Try and change things, you know. Just same old, get up in the morning, go to work. Morning Andy. Morning Stace. You get up in the morning. Morning Chris, get up in the morning, walk over here. Do some work, walk back, have some tea, sit round a bit. I've been mucking around learning new. No problem, Helen. Thank you for your lovely order. I've been learning a bit more about software. Morning, Pat. And talking to my old mate, Pat Carroll, and learning a bit about videos with new setups. And so I've been watching loads of YouTube stuff on getting it together. I've got to find some cameras. We're going to go gear it up. Morning, Steve. Morning, Steve. Two Steves at once. Morning, Nigel. Morning, anybody I'm missing while I'm waffling on. So I've been doing that. But other than that, you go to bed, get up in the morning, walk over here, do some work, walk back home, have some tea. Go to bed, wake up in the morning, walk over here. At least I'm waking up in the morning. Wouldn't be very good if you didn't wake up in the morning, would it? Eh? Morning, Colin. Morning, IDR. Morning, Reg. Morning, Kevin. A lot of mornings, isn't there? What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a graphic up and put it on the screen. Morning, everybody. And if I take a list of names and type them in and have it like a Star Wars scene with all the names, morning, 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 morning. Save me standing there going, morning, 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 morning. I could just put a tape recorder on, couldn't I? Save me voice. Dink. Morning, Paul. Morning, Clive. Morning, Steve. Living the dream, you've got it, Pat, eh? To the edge, to the max, eh? The life of a woodturner, running a woodturning shop, to the edge. Maybe I'll get a skateboard and skateboard over here, that'd be different, wouldn't it? Morning, Four Kings. Morning, Trevor. Morning, Mo. Morning, David. Oh, David, I've got to phone you Monday, I've got your bits. I would have phoned yesterday, but we had a Nova delivery. It needed sorting out rather urgently. I was getting like that. Where's me Nova? I'm waiting for it. Get it here now. I could have put a rope around me gantry for me cameras, couldn't I? Made use of it. Swinging from the yard arm. Morning, Leroy. Morning, Gary Lowe. How's sunny Scotland? Still under snow, or have you come back to the real world? Morning, Reg. Morning, John. Morning, Kevin. Oh, we're nearly ready to get going. I best knock this coffee back and get on with it. Morning, Chris. Yeah, missed my dulcet tones. You'd hear a big scream, wouldn't you? Like that. Mrs. Oliver's already run over the house if we've got life policy cover. I cancelled it years ago. Teach her a lesson if she killed me off. You got a beautiful sunny day. Morning, Andrew. Yeah, beautiful sunny day. Life's looking up. Morning, Timothy from a land down under. Morning, Alf. Morning, Trevor. Morning, Chris. Morning, James. Ronnie, morning. Morning, Philip. Michael Stratton, good morning. Glad to mess up your Saturday morning. Nothing like it. Old Michael Stratton put a post up. Saturdays are ruined again. Morning, Christine and Michael. Morning, Nick. Right, everybody, good morning. That's the way to do it, Douglas. Try and type all the names in at once. When I go on to one of these sessions and have a look and just say hello, everybody, and loads of people say hello, I can't type fast enough, so I just go hi all. Bit rubbish really, but hey, that's the way it is. Morning, Roy. Right, morning. Right, morning, everybody. Let's stop the mornings now. Morning. It's nice to say good morning, but we better do it in purpose, isn't it? Morning, job. Yeah, that's it, I'm still doing it. Morning. We're going to stop. So, this morning, I was talking to Andrew in the week. He kindly placed an order with me, and he was talking about staining. So I thought, what are we going to do Saturday morning? So we're going to stain this. Now, I don't think, you may be able to see that on the camera. This is a piece of Rippled Sycamore. And it's got a ripple going through it both sides. And what we're going to do is try and bring the ripple out with some stains. Okay? So there's going to be a bit of wood turning, obviously, because this is wood turning live. And we're going to stain it. And I'm going to try and use a couple of different colours to stain to make a contrast. I've got a couple of ideas to stop the bleed through. So we'll see how it goes. There are various ways of doing it. So let's switch to a overhead camera. What I've already done is just... what's the word? Drilled a 50mm hole in the back there. It's a quick way of mounting. I've got to forcing a bit on my pillar drills them, and on the jaws, bang, and open the chuck up, and away we go. So Someone's unplugged me Stream Deck. Disaster. I checked the mic, I checked this, I checked that. Didn't check me Stream Deck. Oh dear. Right. Let's see if this will work. Woohoo! Overhead. This was what we've been messing around in. We've got a A10 camera unit and we've been trying to get it going on the computer, and then we realised we need new cameras, and Joe's been over having a mess around with it, and I said no, we're going to need new cameras, and so yeah. Anyway, but Joe's left everything unplugged, so this morning we had no microphone. I was testing it, I thought, oh, microphone's off, right, sort that out. Check the cameras are all working, got that done, and then didn't think to check the Stream Deck. So, jaws are open slightly. Close the jaws up on the chuck. Put the bowl blank on and then expand the chuck into the recess that's made by the Forstner bit. Now, just going to bring tool rest up. We're not going to mess around bringing the blank to true and all the rest of it. That's good if you're practicing and learning your tool control and all the rest of it. But realistically,
someone doesn't know you. They want to know if you oiled the ugly piece of wood from last week.
Now.
No, because it was.
No, see, Mrs. Oliver is wrong. Hold on. So the ugly piece of wood from last week, let's come back here. There. It started to get coats of oil. It's had around about 6 or 7 coats of Danish oil at the moment. And then I leave it in between coats. Left this a bit longer than I'd normally leave it. A normally daily process. But and then I'll just build this up. So, you know, another week. I've filed the edges off. If you can see that. Just to make it sort of a bit more in keeping, so it don't look like just square edges. Stapled them in just slightly and thin them down a little bit. And this will keep going on and off the chuck. Get a buff, another coat of oil, until all the oil is sitting on the top when you put it on, and then that's impregnated enough. Let it dry, give it a real buff up, and she should pop. So it is under the go. Mrs. Oliver is wrong. Every now and again, when I'm supposed to be working, I just sort of pop in here and go, right, let's give that another. Now, I'm not going to have the tailstock here up too long because it's going to get in the way today. So I'm just bringing the tool rest back, making sure we'll go. It might get in the way straight away, and if that's the case, then it's coming out the way. Pop my old safety glasses on, stop the old chips in the eye, turn the lathe on, speed was down. Always stand out the way when you turn your lathe on. Bring it up. Now, any of you that are sharp-eyed, you can see this blank is not central, because when I drill holes, they're never in the middle. They're always off a little bit. So I reckon we're about 1/4 inch out here, but this won't matter. So we just bring the speed up, not too much. Now that's how far out it is. It started to go a little bit off at 700. So we're only at 6 at the moment. I've got, in my vacuum cleaning this morning, I moved the radiator and I've just tripped over it. So that's out of the way now. And already this tailstock is going to be in my way. So I'm going to stop this, get rid of that. Anytime you can bring the tailstock into play when you're turning, bring it in for safety. When it's in your way, get it out of the way. So, yes, bring me tool rest over a little bit. I've got a lot of tool rest here, so I can bring me tool rest off. So if anything goes untoward, it's going to hit the tool rest rather than me. So let's turn that on, get rid of that. Now I'm just going to lay the gouge in. I can rub the bevel there like that. Lean the handle towards me and start pushing the shape around. And it's going to push it off because it's not round. So just have to hold it on a little bit. Now the beauty of the long grind, let me stop that. The beauty of the longer grind is as I come round here, the wing can cut in further so I can remove more wood. If we was doing it at speed, if I drilled the hole in the middle so the lathe didn't vibrate all over the place, we could go even faster. Just bring this round. Now what I'll do, now I've taken that first bit away, move my gouge over, I'll just bring my tool rest round so I get more support as I come round the curve. Now what I could have done, because I've got a rotating headstock, is rotated my headstock out so I'm not over the lathe bed. But my cameras are set over the lathe bed, so I'm leaning over the lathe bed. So I've just got my body into the lathe bed now. The tool's away from the side, which I'm not a great fan of. There, I took a big cut there and got a big gap. Now, rule of thumb is if you can get your finger between the tool rest and your blank, then just adjust it. If we was doing this for a bit of production work, I'd just whip round it as quick as possible, but try to make a wood turning demo. So, whip the speed up a little bit more, we're rounder now. Still got a little bit of vibration, we're about 800. Tools back in the side now. And that's us round. Simples. Whoa, not a bit of torn grain in sight. What's going on? Right, so that's our bowl rounded. I'm just looking for the ripple effect on the inside. I've got a nice bit of ripple coming through just here. A little bit there. There's a bit down the base here, so there's a bit of ripple there. So now I'm just going to come round with a light cut. Just to refine this shape. Ain't that light? I'm just trying to refine the shape a little bit because there was a bump there. Forget I said light cut. Coming round here with a nice heavy cut to remove a bit of timber. Rewind, rewind. Now I moved there. And I just caused myself a little line. That'll do. Ding! I missed her. It's alright. Now you see here, there's just a little line there. I don't know if you, how well you can see that. Be able to see it better when I've got my new cameras. You should just see a line there. What happened is I moved my body and never kept the even swing going. Ah, morning Mike Walt. This is my Mike Walt impression, Mike Walt. Hold on.
You can't stay for long.
You can't stay for long? Well, let me do it quickly then. Now, who do I look like? Mike Wall. Boom, boom. Goodbye. Okay, so I've just got a little line here that I don't want. So if I pick the cut up just gently. There's me line gone. Red stop, red stop. There's my line gone. It's just a simple round bowl. Now, we'll just come in the bottom here, tidy the bottom up, and put a little mounting on the bottom. I'm just going to come through, pick up a cut here. Lift the handles a go, so I keep cutting on centre into there. Now, I wasn't going to have a socket on this bowl, but I'm going to have a socket on this bowl for one reason and one reason only, is when I bought the live centre up, it's put a indentation in the bottom. I've gone walking off. You always got to forget something, can you? I forgot me verniers. So, I'm just going to bring that up. 50 mil is the jaws, make them about 52 mil, 53 mil. Let's try it. What's that one do? A side by side. Will you see that? Probably not. Well, we'll leave it on that one. So left hand point in. Just bring it up. When you've got it lined up with the right hand point, give the left a dig in, score the line. Don't dig the right in because it goes like that. Boom. Gets the person behind you. There's Mike Wall standing there. Nasty, nasty. Don't say that. So, I'm just going to raise my tool rest a little bit. There, so I'm cutting on centre. And using my skew, trying to keep my shoulder out of the way for you. Just go in. And then just remove some of this wood here. Just using the skew like a scraper really, negative rate scraper. Now I want this to be 3 or 4 mil, 3 mil, don't want to go too mad. Most important thing that it's flat where the jaws are going to go. Now I'm just rocking the skew round, cause an arc, because what I'm going to do is have this as the finish. Now, there's my line. There's my line. I do need glasses. I've got glasses. And trouble is I'm not wearing them, so I don't know where they're hiding. Right. Just going to roll this around. Whoop. Now, I've caused myself a problem there. My tool rest was probably a mil too high, and I've caught that centre and given myself little indentations. So let's get rid of that. That's it. Right, hopefully that will be okay. Now, there's a bit of torn grain there, so I'm going to go in really lightly. No pressure on this at all. Could be argued it would have been better if I sharpened the tool, but you see I've just taken off a real fine dust there. Another pass. Go and sharpen the tool. No, I won't. Go and sharpen the tool. No! That's me left cell arguing with me right cell. There we go. Just very gently round there. Let's get it down good enough to sand. That's tidied it up. Just very lightly round. Tidied it up. And what we can do is grab a quick beading tool and put a couple of beads in here. One there. There we go. Now we've got a couple of beads in there. We'll give that a quick sanding in it. We don't want to mess about too much. But from a design point of view, that now looks quite ugly, doesn't it? Down there, big, and so we got to just tidy that foot up and make it look like it's meant to be a delicate little foot for our bowl. So we'll turn the lathe on, and I'm just going to pick a cut up here, come technically the wrong way. Bring that into there, and just pick that curve up so it flows. Not quite right there. Just twisting myself into the lathe, and I've just got a little bit there. There. Okay, now we've got little foot. Little bit of fluffy grain there, but that will sand. So what we're going to do now, extractor on, quick sand.
Can somebody see the beading tool?
The beading tool, yeah, I'll show you the beading tool in a minute. When Joe's here, I've got automatic control for my extractor. When he's not here, Mrs. Oliver allows me to walk around the workshop to turn the extractor on. Now, sand up. Got a sander. Right, the beading tools. I've got a bigger one. It's come straight over it. There. So it's fluted down the bottom. A couple of legs come round. These are actually our one that I picked up for some years ago. You could just do this with your spindle gouge. And you just sharpen this one face. And you just push it in and then just give it a little wiggle, and as you lift, so you start a little bit higher, and as you lift, it gives you a nice little bead in there. Quick bit of decoration for the foot. Now, get that out of the way. Got the extractor on, bring it as close as possible. We've got to sand because we're going to colour. If you don't sand, if you're colouring, you'll have marks all over the place and they'll show through. Now, the finish of the tool was good enough that I didn't have to sand with 80 grit, but I go in with 80 grit to make sure that I haven't got any real compressed grain. I've just got a bit, I don't want to touch the spigot point too much. I just want to get inside them beads. There. I don't want to take the detail away. Where my real concern is the outside, if we're going to colour the outside. There. Getting them beads. All I do to get in the beads is I fold the sandpaper over so I've got a crisp edge, and I just use the corner. Support my wrist so it don't go running where I don't want it to. Now of course when you're sanding you've got to go through the grits. We're only going to go to about 400 and the rest of the grits are quite quick. Quick wipe like that. Just want to blend that scratch line in there as we get into the foot. Keep that moving. Quick one round the outside, round the outside. That was our 240. This is 320. A bit on the foot. 400. There's 400 there. Let's make sure I'm in on that foot. Stop that there. And that looks okay. That don't look okay in there. Hold on. Just went in with a bit of 320, didn't do a lot. Just get that back in there. That's okay, that's done it. Right. So there's our outside sanded. So, get rid of that out of the way, the old sander. It's the Pro Sander, nursery reel. My favourite thing for sanding, bowls and olive forms, quite quick, round you go. Ties up all the little marks. So there's the outside of our bowl. Where's the camera gone? Got a little decoration in there, and we've made this recess look a bit more like a foot with this little foot here. Now we've got to see if I've got it right. I don't want to over tighten it, I don't want to mark the inside of the foot. So I've got that on, it seems secure. Turn the speed down, push go, stand out of the way just in case. Lovely. Lovely that is, look, lovely. Right, put the key down where I can find it. Now, what I'm going to do is turn a flat on the face. You'll see why in just a second. So I've got a little plan. He's got a plan. What's his plan? I don't know. Does he know? Probably not. Is he making it up as he goes along again? Probably. That's what he does. All right. Shh. Don't tell anybody. Okay. So what we want to do now is just face this blank off for, I want a rim of about 1 inch, I think. So I'm just going to pick the cut up here. Just gently. Now I'm not worried about that bit. Just get that out of the way. Have a look. There's a bit of ripple there. Not as nice as I thought it was going to be, but still never mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut in a little bit and make the rim go down into the bowl. Just raise the handle as I go. That there do me. Get rid of that bit. butchery. That'll do me, I think. Yeah, that'll do me. So now I've got a little taper going down into the bowl. And what I'm going to do is sand this now. Sorry? Well, that's why I didn't turn it off. Karen's interfering. She's gone and turned the extractor off to turn it straight back on because I knew what I was doing, but I never told her. My little secret. So now, just want to sand this bit. Why is he sanding that now then? I don't know. What do you think he's up to? Haven't got a clue. And there. Quickly, first grit does the work. Next grit just takes out the sanding lines of the grit before, so we can fly through these pretty quick. $2.40. $3.20. Whoops. 400. That should do us nicely. Stop the lathe. Let's have a look. Now, there's a bit of ripple there. The real ripple was looking alright on this blank from the outside. The trouble with Rippled Sycamore is going through it, but not as nice as I would have hoped. But still, never mind. Right, let's get the dust off of here. Put, hold on, is that side by side? Put me marigolds on. No, we don't need the extractor now, not for putting a stain on. There's me getting no tea tonight. Right, I'm big and brave when I've got my friends around. So, let's use a bit of blue. What I want to do is create a bit of contrast with the bowl, but I want to bring the outside into the inside, so I'm going to stain the outside with this blue and the rim on purpose. Put that in there. Now I'm not going to get on the foot, but I can do that at the end. I can just turn it over and do the foot. Or I can really cut a spigot in the front and turn it around and stain the foot. Now you can see the ripple coming through in this area. There. The stain's going to highlight the ripple. And if it had been rippled right the way across the blank, that would have looked nicer. But to be quite honest, you've got the poor bit of ripple, because I can sell the better bit of ripple. I don't want anybody phoning up saying my ripple's not rippled. Not like raspberry ripple, is it? Anybody remember the old raspberry ripple? Lovely. Roll on summer so we can have raspberry ripple. Ah, now that's better. I can see that now. Maybe it was my glasses I needed. I'm going to get that in there. Like so. Okay. There we go, just do a quick bit of wet sanding. I'm going back to just 320. I'll turn this on. Might be better off letting it dry or using a hairdryer if you own one. I don't own an hairdryer. Never seen an hairdryer in my workshop. Any of you? No. I'm just going to come round here and I'm removing some of this stain. If I stop that, now you can see we've got darker areas where the stain's sunk in, lighter areas, not a lot on there, a bit on the ripple, it's gone into the ripple. So now we give it a second coat. And what will happen is the stain that's gone in deeper will become a bit darker. And the areas with no stain should be a bit lighter. Just get it on here. Now we could have used a different colour obviously. But I'm in a blue mood, so we're in blue. I'm in a blue mood because Spurs have not been doing too well lately. Hey, never mind. Hardly life threatening. Get a bit there and there. Into there. Put that down, put the lid back on so when I knock it over it don't go all over the floor. And now I'm just going to use a bit of 400. Now in normal circumstances you let it dry out a bit, okay, because what happens if you don't let it dry out, it comes off on your sanding disc and that is disposable now. I don't think that's going to do any good for anybody over there with the camera. Yeah. So, but if you let it dry, it doesn't clog up as much, but it's the same principle, dry or wet. Now this one's clogged up already. Like that. Where's the camera gone? There. No expense spared, I'll use a new pad. Don't worry. Well, 600, I don't want 600, I want 400. Get a 400 in there. And this sanding will take off far less stain than we did with the last sanding. If we don't like what we've got, we could get aggressive with a coarser paper, take off more, or just get the bowl gas to it and turn that layer away. The stain doesn't go in that deep.
Why wouldn't you use fine wire wool?
Don't like wire wool. Wire wool is an old thing. I don't like wire wool particularly because if you're using it and you've got these little fibres that come off everywhere, so it could get it stuck in your stain. It's highly flammable, wire wool. I'd sooner use an eye-wed pad, to be fair. Right, so now you should see that we've got a lot more stain left on there. It's virtually all on there. Light areas, dark areas, and even through the ripple you can see the lines coming up through. So we could then sand that down a little bit more. Let's just go a little bit more. I've just gone on with a 600 here. Be surprised how much this will take off. And you just keep messing around with this until you've got it where you want it. There. So now we've got the blue in the ripple, we've got a bit of blue over there. So what I'm going to do now, give this a bash of yellow. You could keep going with this, as I say, You could do multicolours, you could do whatever you want, but what we're trying to do is bring a bit of depth out in the ripple. So if I get a bit of yellow on here, the day's brightened up, see? Green. Green grass of homes. The green shoots of recovery. The green shoots of normality. Who knows? We might all be able to get to a show this year. What the blue's done is added a bit of depth to the ripples. So when I come over with my second colour, the ripple starts to show through. Now, had the blank have been fully rippled, this would be all over the blank. But it's not. So, but we do get a shimmer and a shade. Now, I don't know if you can pick that up in the camera. There, through there, you can see the blue underneath yellow, and it highlights the ripple, brings the ripple through. Now, that'll do that with any figured wood, light wood. It'll work on a dark wood, but it won't get the same effect. But on a light wood, it will work. So,
why don't you use a paintbrush?
Because I'm just wiping spirit stain on. So I just want a smooth, even coat. And to me, there's nothing better than a bit of paper towel and wipe it on. Gives you a smooth, even coat. We're not looking for it. We're not drawing lines and that sort of thing. So we're about there. And it gives us this depth. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to try and add even more contrast in the bowl part of this. So,
would the stain work on maple?
Yeah, maple is maple is part of the sycamore family, or sycamore is part of the maple family. Any light wood, it works on ash. Only problem with ash is the grain is open, and this effect works well on figured wood. And sycamore, you get rippled sycamore, where you get this rippling effect in the wood. And what we're doing is highlighting the ripple, making use of what is already there with our colour. Now, if everybody could keep Mrs. Oliver talking so she doesn't notice I've nicked her hairdryer again, be most grateful. Sing a song or something. I want to get this dry quickly, because what we're going to do is actually put a sanding sealer and a lacquer coat on this now. Why is he doing that then? Well, the idea is we're going to stain the inside of the bowl, and if I go and put the stain straight on, I may overlap the rim where I don't want it to be overlapped. So my thinking is, if I put a finish on it, then the stain can't stick to that finish, and if I am clumsy and get some on the rim, I should be able to wipe it off. The other thing we could use is, I forgot the name of it, like a latex paint that you paint on, masking fluid, masking paint, and paint that on, and then do what we're going to do, and then peel that off afterwards. But I think the sanding sealer and the lacquer will work. I think. These are spirit-based dyes, Chestnut products. Where's the camera? Chestnut products, spirit-based dyes. I like the spirit-based stains. They go into the wood well. They dry quickly. I mean, literally, if you was letting it dry naturally, I don't know, 10 minutes, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on the temperature. So that's that. Now I'm going to have to find Mrs. Oliver a new hairdryer. She's just discovered what I've been doing with her best hairdryer for the last year. Well done, Steve. Yeah, you keep on. I don't think I've got away with it. So, if I turn the lathe on, this is just a bit of acrylic spray-on sanding sealer.
Michael wants to know what brand of hairdryer. It'd be a Braun. Used to be by Braun.
Morphy Richards.
Oh,
Morphy Richards. I can tell you a story about Morphy Richards. I was born on my mum and dad's first wedding anniversary, same day, 3rd of August. And for a wedding present, they got a Morphy Richards toaster from someone. I wasn't there because I was born a year later. I'm 63 this year. The toaster is 64 this year. And it still makes toast. How's that, eh? 64-year-old toaster that still makes toast. Right, so we've just given that a coat of acrylic sanding sealer. It won't take long to dry for what we want, so we're just going to speed the process up. Now this is all in fast motion, obviously. And then I've got an acrylic gloss lacquer. Ah, got dust. See, that's what happens when you try and speed things up. You get dust. Give this a good shake up. Now we're going to give this a couple of coats of gloss lacquer. See if we can dry this. What are you doing this morning then? Oh, I'm watching a bloke dry paint. Was it good? Nah, not really. What do you use? Morphy Richards. Why don't you use Braun? Haven't got any Braun. Ain't got much brain either. Right, there we go. Wow, two-handed air drying. Told you, oh, turn it off before you put it on the floor, don't I? Okay. That's it. Right, this is a real, wouldn't normally do it like this, but needs must. Now I'm not going to be that clumsy with the paint, but I'm doing the outside because I'm getting an overlap of it, so why not? Right, that'll do for that. Could have had an extractor on. I've got a wall extractor, but it's at the opposite side of the workshop. Be better to have one behind me. Still, this will give you the effect that we're trying to achieve. I just want to get that dry there so everything doesn't stick to it. Turbo blast. Are the brush on lacquers are easy to lose. The only problem with brush on lacquers is you can get lines if you're heavy-handed like me. So I quite like just the aerosol ones. They give a nice even coat. But yeah, you can use a brush on lacquer. Now, is that dry enough? Yeah, that looks dry enough. What I would do normally, I'm not going to do this today, but what I would do normally, I'd give this 4 or 5 coats of lacquer and I'd let it dry properly. And then I'd use a Nyweed pad, one of the finer ones like an orange, and just give it a burnish off. Then I'd give it another 3 coats of lacquer, and then I'd use the white Nyweed and just make sure that shoe's smooth. And as it looks like a piece of glass, I'd then use a bit of burnishing cream over the top and buff that up, and it really makes it pop, as they say. Pop. So we're into hollowing out our bowl a bit. So I just get my tool rest to the right height for me. I want this tool to come through here on centre, which we look like we're going to do. And now, get a bit more speed in the lathe. Back of the bevel, lean forward, little twist. Smooth. Back of the bevel, forward, twist. Smooth. Not too much pressure. Good practice to see if you can go through the middle without snapping the centre pip off. It's all tool control. But you've got to creep up on it then, look, really slowly. Lay the pressure off. I can roll the wing over actually and get a little undercut on that back wing, look. And then the pit falls in the gouge. I was talking to someone else in the week, just, and about speed of the lathe and speed of tool travel. Now this is a good trick. If you get a pencil and move the pencil at the speed the wood's coming over the lead, you shade it in. So you're travelling the tool at the right speed. If you get your pencil and move too quick, you get a spiral. Now you can't really see that on the black. Hold on. Let me demonstrate. Let's rub out our pencil. In the middle, back wing, little undercut, and you slice the pip off into your gouge. Bing! Right, get that off of there. So, if we travel the tool faster than the wood's coming over the cutting edge, we get a spiral. We've missed the surface, and that's what happens with your gouge. If you're moving faster, then that's why you get problems. So, yes, learn to travel your tool at the speed you're travelling the lathe at, so then you don't have to turn fast to get a good finish. You learn to move to the speed of the lathe. Right, we're up to about 1100. Now I'm just going to remove some wood. Not going to mess about here. Don't want you all falling asleep. This is not going to be a fin bowl. If it was going to be a fin bowl, then what I could do is leave a cone in the middle as a bit of counterbalance while I'm knocking out. Oops. The wood. It's just a decorative bowl. And let me just get rid of that pit there. I want that pit. Back of the bevel, in, forward, oh, forward. I've got a bump there that's kicking me off. Let's got rid of that. You can't see that, can you? There. Now I want to just pick a little cut up here. Clean line. Little tip. I think the tip of that tool is clogged or gone. Don't need to come in with a fresh tool. That's better. I'm using the wing of the tool here to take a wider cut as I come in. I just want to remove a bit of wood. Now that noise is because I'm chattering on the wing. I'm taking around about 5-6 mil of timber here in one go. Just removing timber here at the moment to speed the process up. Snap that out of the way. Now what I'll do is take a fine cut. Take the noise out of it. Funnel club, anybody? Raise the handles, I twist my body around away from the lathe, fit it your hip away from the lathe, come into the middle, back wing under, get rid of that bit, and yeah, it's got a little dimple there, and I've got a little line here. Let's get rid of that line. There. So look at that. That's dust. That's fine. There's a little bump inside that bowl. Just there. Don't know if you can see that. Just there's a little bump. Let's come over to the there. You can just see a little bump there. Shade of line. So what I'm going to do is pick this up to get rid of that. So that curve flows smoothly all the way round. Don't want little bumps in your bowl. So I'm just going to pick up the back of the bevel, bring it down very lightly. Just move the bump down a bit further. Oh. Just a little bit, just right in the centre there. That's better. That flows. So, what we're going to do now is just sand the inside of this bowl round, ready for staining. Quick process because it's only a little bowl, won't take long. Extractor! My remote control's working really slowly. Extractor! Very, very slow. Now what I've got to be careful of course, when I'm sanding the inside of the bowl, is I don't bring the sander out and catch me stain. So, careful, careful. Otherwise I'll be doing it all again. So just bring this around, just on that edge. Right, that's the main bit. Now just through the grits to 400 very quickly. No messing about. Don't mess about. $120. Now why do I sand on this face? I can see it. Problem with sanding, it's throwing the dust at me. Can't see it there, but it throws the dust then towards the extractor. For what it's worth. 240. $320. $400. Oh, look at that. Nearly did it with that blue one. Didn't want to do that. With the inertia reel, I'm just doing it at my turning speed, which was 1100. If I was hand sanding, I'd drop the speed down to about 500, 600. But inertia reels, because we're not holding in one position too long, the wood doesn't get hot. So away you go, as quick as that.
What's the difference between melamine spray and lacquer spray?
Well, they're both lacquers. Melamine lacquer is melamine. It's hard lacquer, and the one that I use, what am I trying to say? It's like a spirit-based type lacquer. That's right. Where acrylic lacquer is a water-based type lacquer. I think you get more of a glassy shine. Melamine lacquer's harder wearing. It actually dries fairly quickly, but I think it takes something like 21 days to fully cure. But I don't think it much matters really. What one you use is up to you. I just grabbed acrylic because it was quicker, because it was in the front of the cupboard. I quite like acrylic lacquer, it dries quickly, gives a nice shine for this sort of work. I don't know if I've got a little line here that's going to show up. Looks like I can't make out if the line is in the wood that way or like a line there, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I've got ooh, pair of glasses. Right. So what's happened? Having no glasses on, I thought, oh, that's all right. But I'm looking now, and you can't really see this on the camera, but I've got a line just in there, which is gonna show up through the stain. What I'll do is I'll put some stain on it so you can see it, and then I'll probably have to run it over with a tool slightly to get rid of it. So what I'm going to do now for contrast is carefully apply a blue stain inside the bowl. And what I don't want it doing is overlapping onto my green on the outside. So that's why I lacquered the bowl on the outside. So if I do get a bit on the outside, I can just hopefully wipe it straight off with a clean bit of towel, which I haven't got to hand. Clean bit of towel, get rid of that. So if I get a bit on there, I can wipe it off, because it shouldn't stick in principle, in theory, to the lacquer. Shouldn't. Be better if I don't get it on there in the first place. So what I'm doing is wiping it out towards me, following the curve of the bowl.
Mike's asking if you can zoom out a bit.
Zoom? No, we're doing. This is YouTube, Mike. Not Zoom. Hold on. It's Zoomy the camera. Zoomy the camera out. What's that? What's that there? Side, that one. Side. Capture. Camera. How's that? How's that? Happy now? Done. Yeah, it's going to get this into here. Bring it out. Just carefully. Now I could always put a bead to break up the colour, but that wasn't the idea. That's got my glasses on there.
Somebody said you can't get the hotel, so you can't ship to America.
We can ship to America now. We've geared up our insurance to do that. The problem is shipping to America, from the UK, you've got to have the right insurance in place. Right, so we've got the dark blue on there. Now we're going to go in with 400 grit. Let's make sure that looks good so far. So far, so good. So I'm just coming in with 400 now. Careful on the rim. Let's prop that up. I'm supporting the tool in both hands and literally just gently moving that backwards and forwards so I don't pop out all of a sudden. There we go. so that's got that. Let's get this off of here.
Someone's asking if the blue colour's intrinsic.
No, they're chestnut spirit stains. Chestnut spirit stains. Right. Maybe I should have dried this off a little bit first. I want to take enough of this. I might pop back. I was going 400. I thought it'd do it. I'm going to pop back to 320. I just want to remove a bit more of this. Be careful there. That's better. I needed to remove enough of it. Now, get rid of the dust in there. So the thing not to use in your workshop is an airline to do this. Why don't you use an airline? Because when I blow this, technically I'm blowing the dust up all over the place, alright? So but I want to get rid of the dust. Ideally I'd have my vacuum cleaner here and vacuum it off. Technically that's the right way to do it. Right, so I've got my first layer of dark blue. Now I'm going with my second layer of dark blue. Same sort of effect as the outside. Carefully round the edge.
Can you tell Leroy we do ship to America?
You are?
Can you tell Leroy we do ship to America?
Leroy, we do ship to America. Mrs. O said, tell Leroy we do ship to America. We can now ship to America. Right, that's my second coat of dark blue. Now, what I'm going to do is just try and dry this off a bit quicker. Come back in with, oh, turn the lathe off. Come back in with me 400 now. Get me paper on there evenly so I haven't got any overhang. Like that. Get me vacuum cleaner out and suck the dust off. There we go. Now what I'm going to do now is come in with a light blue. You can see these lines in there. That's on the real tooling line, and as I said to you, I'm going to do my glasses. As I said to you, stain will show up any imperfections. So if I was doing this properly, I'd tool that back out, turn it away, start again. But you'll get the effect. So itchy nose there, so I had to wipe it with my hand. I nearly wiped it with the blue stained towel, paper towel. That would have made everybody laugh. I could have been walking around with a blue nose. I wonder if Karen would have told me. No one's going to see it. Don't see anybody, do you? Locked down. Prisoner in cell block H. Right, so that's given that another shimmer of stain. Now you should be able to see that through there. And it's showing the ripple off. That we have got these dark lines here which are from the turning. The wood has been bruised, pushed too hard. So realistically what I need to do is go back in there with a tool, take a very fine cut and take that away again. But
Could you use a tap block for the dust?
could I use a... No, not with wet stain, it'd just come off. The best idea, if you're going to use colour in your workshop, do your turning, do your sanding, get the vacuum cleaner out, vacuuming it down, and probably stain it the next day, to be fair. Let the dust settle. Dust is a big problem. Ideally, in a lovely world, what I would have is I'd have a division wall up, and I'd do me turning in one room, and I'd have a second lathe if I need to spin it to colour in another room that was just purely for paint and dust free. So realistically, if this was going to be a proper competition piece, I wouldn't mess around. I'd get rid of the dust and then I'd do me colouring the next day. But it's not, it's a demo piece, so it's just to give you an idea of what will happen to highlight. No. Highlight the figure of the wood. And let's come back here. So there, we can see that on the camera. Can you see the ripple coming through here? The dark blue with the yellow over the top of it gives it a line. And then through there you can see the ripple, the dark blue, and then the light blue over the top. And it gives you an effect on the ripple. And a nice sort of clean line round the edge there, and there's the ripple on the outside there. So now what I could do is literally put this in a Longworth chuck. That's what I was looking for it and I can't see it. Oh right. Put it in the Longworth chuck and literally just trim that off there to get rid of that stain, and then give this coat of sanding, sealer and lacquer. The inside I would normally do a coat of sanding, sealer and lacquer it, and then lacquer the piece all over, but it needs turning away. I don't know if you can just, can I get to them lines? Can you make them lines out on the camera? I don't know if you can. There's a couple of lines through here. No, I wasn't pushing that hard. I think what happened is I bruised the wood when I was ripping the wood away. So they're in there. So I wouldn't have that as a finished piece. That's got to be turned away. Those lines have got to go because they're not supposed to be there. But gives you the effect of the rippling and what you can do with simple chestnut spirit stains and using two tones to give you the tone of the ripple. And it's the ripple that gives it the effect, the way the stain sinks in. So Andrew, I hope that helps you because we was talking about that the other day. There's an early finish. It's only 1:15. I should have turned a bigger piece of wood. Should have taken it easier. I shouldn't have put the bumps in the wood. But there. So simple little project. Very effective. All day long. Very pretty little bowl with that ripple in. So the old Rippled Sycamore, one of my favourites for staining actually, Rippled Sycamore. That and horse chestnut burr. They're my favourites. Look at the camera. Look at that. Yes, there we go. Okay, I hope everybody's enjoyed that. Bit quicker than normal, but it is what it is. If you've got any questions at all, far away. Otherwise, we've just completed another Saturday lockdown morning. God, lockdown specials Saturday morning. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, everybody, for turning up. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share and all that sort of stuff, if you don't mind. Thank you very much, Pat Carroll. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Thanks, Colin. Thanks, Neil. Thank you very much, Helen Bailey. Very kind of you. Thank you. Thanks, Nick. Nick Arden. How do you spray the sand? What?
How do you spray sanding sealer on the blue without getting on the rim?
I could just paint it on, or just I could just spray it on. Doesn't matter if I get sanding sealer on top of my lacquer, because what I would do now, once I've sanding sealer that and start lacquering, I'd sand the whole lot back and go, you know, because I'm not going to affect the paint now. I'm just really buffing up the lacquer, so I wouldn't worry about a little bit of overspray getting on the top, because it's going to get lacquered over the top, so I don't think it will make any difference whatsoever. Thank you all for stopping by. Thanks, Martin. Thanks, Andy.
Douglas wants to know if you're Tottenham born.
No, Hackney. Born in Hackney, brought up in Walthamstow, walked down to the Spurs ground. Cheers, Derek. No, I don't need a razor. I'm going to get ready for Be Father Christmas next year. Yeah, that's my plan. Thanks very much, David. Very kind of you. Thank you. Yeah, it's my Mike Walt impersonation. That's what I'm after. Cheers, Andrew. Thank you, Colin. Thanks, Pat. Yeah, well, we just ask people to like and subscribe and put their thumbs up. If they want to do it, they do it. If they don't want to do it, they don't have to do it. It's entirely up to them. Cheers, Colin. Yeah, give it a go. Put some gloves on, though, otherwise you have coloured fingers. It sinks into your skin. It comes off, but in time, then we'll just wash off. Thanks, Brian. Cheers, Nick. Cheers, John. Thanks, Simon. Cheers, Flicks. Cheers, Terry. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks, Rob. Hodge, yeah, give it a go. Bit of stain never hurt anybody. Thanks, Trevor. Thanks, Nigel. Cheers, Steve. Thanks, Richard. Yeah, you can watch it. I'll leave them up for people to watch. Don't hide them. Thanks, Baz. Thanks for popping by. Cheers, Nick. Right. I think it might be cup of tea time. Cup of tea and get on with whatever the day has got in store. Got some wood to cut. Got to cut a load of blanks up for orders. Thanks, John. Yeah, I've got to cut a load of blanks up for orders and all that sort of stuff. So I've got a little working day. I'm going to probably put that bowl back on the lathe and give it a clean cut. And lacquer it up so it's shiny, put a bit more on the other bowl and get that done. Cheers, Jax. Have a nice weekend, and you too. Ben, you're 20 minutes behind. Oh. Cheers, Gary. Cheers, Roy. Glad you've enjoyed it. Glad you've enjoyed your morning's demo. I'm going to away. Thank you all for stopping by. If you do like and subscribe, that's great. Yeah, I'm going to enjoy me tea. Might have bacon butty as well. God, great stuff. Thanks, Gary. Glad you enjoyed it. Cheers, Paul. Cheers, TJ Turning. Right. Thank you all for stopping by. Hope you've been entertained for an hour and a half or whatever it's been. Enjoy your weekends and weeks. And I'll catch up with you on the other side, as they say. Take care. Goodbye. Stay safe.